Right now at 6, a pair of close calls as bullets fly into homes.
You're hearing bullet shots all over the place. You just never know which direction it's coming from.
Plus, a local realtor apparently targeted by cyber thieves. The staggering amount, he says, was drained from his bank account.
It's beyond frustrating.
Then bringing healthcare to where the need is greatest.
Some of these people have never connected with care at all. We're meeting people who have just never darkened our doors.
And a sluggish start to the Portland Thorn season leads to a major staff shakeup. Good evening, everyone. At first at 6, we want to get right to some developing news in Beaverton, where one person has been taken to the hospital after they were hit by a car that apparently drove into a car dealership. This was just after 2 this afternoon at the Car Subaru on Southwest Canyon Road, just off Highway 217. Tualatin Valley Fire and Rescue says the person was trapped between the car and a wall and had to be extricated by firefighters. It does not appear that person was the driver, though those details remain unclear. No word yet on how seriously they were hurt. We're looking to learn more, and we will keep you posted. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko. We continue this evening with a Southeast Portland couple who say they are considering leaving the Rose City after what appears to be a stray bullet came through their front window, shattering both a mirror and their sense of security. Joe Ranieri's in the newsroom. Joe, it sounds like this was not the only close call.
No, it wasn't, David. 2 different houses were hit with bullets, but in the same neighborhood. Now the homeowners are trying to figure out where the bullets came from and who pulled the trigger.
Southeast 145th Avenue in Portland is lined with tall, towering trees.
You would never think of something like that coming through here. I mean, it's always been a safe place for the most part. I never expect a bullet to come through. So, yeah, kind of unnerving.
What Dan Sala wants to know is how a bullet could come through his front window with those trees along his street and in front of his house.
She heard a loud noise, and the dog started getting really riled up and stuff, and then she came in. She didn't check this room, but she looked out the back door and didn't see anything going on.
His wife was working in the back of the house when she heard a noise last Tuesday night, but didn't notice anything until the next morning.
Yeah,
that's when she came out to this.
And turned on the light, and it's glass. I'm like, where is this glass from?
Dan's wife, Vicky, quickly discovered what happened.
She opened the blind up and saw this hole come through.
The bullet didn't hit anyone, but shattered a mirror that was hanging above this buffet table in their dining room. That same night, just on the other side of their neighborhood. That house wasn't the only one that saw a bullet go through it on that night. This one along 144th Street in Southeast Portland, just about a block away, saw a bullet go through a garage door, the storage tubs, and then went through this card table. Thankfully, in both cases, nobody was hurt.
Started questioning neighbors and said, one neighbor told me he thought it came from this way, and I'm like, well, that wouldn't happen.
But not knowing where the bullets came from has Dan and his wife looking for a different neighborhood to call home.
I think it's time to get out of the city, go somewhere a little quieter.
Now, David, in the case where the bullet went through and shattered the window, that was from a 9mm. Now, both homeowners called police and have filed a police report, but they still don't know who was behind the shootings last week. David, back to you.
Yeah, such a rude awakening. Just glad everybody is okay. Thank you, Joe. In your headlines tonight, a former Portland State University football player has been sentenced to more than 2 decades in prison for killing his girlfriend. Keenan Harpole received 23 years in prison after he pleaded guilty to manslaughter with the possibility of a reduced sentence after 10 years. He admitted to shooting and killing his girlfriend, 19-year-old Amara Marluke, who was also a PSU student, in April 2022. Marluke's family members say they had seen warning signs of domestic violence in their relationship. The former longtime mayor of Beaverton has been arrested again for violating the terms of his supervised release after he served prison time for child pornography. In 2022, Denny Doyle pleaded guilty to 1 count of possession after investigators say he downloaded hundreds of explicit images of children under 12 during his time in office. Doyle was sentenced to 6 months in federal prison and 5 years of supervised release, and also had to register as a sex offender. Doyle was arrested on Monday by the U.S. Marshals Service. A tow truck driver convicted of using his truck to steal cars and sell them for scrap will be sentenced later this week. Joseph Beard was arrested in January as part of Operation Mistletoe, that's TOW. Prosecutors say Beard was part of the theft ring, which allegedly sold dozens of illegally towed vehicles to a North Portland scrap metal company to be crushed. Beard was charged with 22 felonies, and last week he was convicted on 3 of those charges. And a traffic alert on Highway 26 if you're headed to or from the Cascades. U.S. Forest Service crews are clearing hazardous trees along the highway near Rhododendron and the Camp Creek campground today and tomorrow. ODOT says it'll have flaggers out to reduce travel to 1 lane each direction to give crews room to work. If you're familiar with this area, this is where 26 squeezes down from 4 to 2. Here's what it looked like earlier with traffic backed up there. ODOT says to expect to wait at least 15 minutes to get through beginning tomorrow morning at 8. Matt?
Thanks, David. Yeah, I got stuck in that spot back during the winter. They were doing a little bit of work in that exact same area, taking trees out. It took a while to get through, so make sure you check before you head out there. All right, in Portland right now, the clouds are clearing. We're cool. We're 55 degrees right now. The winds are out of the northwest. They will settle down, and so will the showers. They've been very intrepid, hanging on over the Coast Range and the Cascade foothills. Haven't seen any sprinkles in the valley in a long time, but all of this is going to end in the next couple of hours as the sun gets closer to the horizon. Not only will the showers end, the sky is going to clear. You can see that process well underway. From our reserve golf course sky cam, little breeze out there right now. You see some golfers out there, no matter. Northwest winds at 13 and 54, but that dew point of 32 means that when the wind calms down and the sky clears, the temperature can drop all the way down to that dew point temperature 32, and it will by tomorrow morning. So for that reason, everywhere in the blue is under a frost advisory. Everywhere in purple is under a freeze warning for a hard freeze. Temperatures as low as about 28 in those spots, including the Hood River Valley. The Orchard is, I'm sure, taking note of the cold night ahead. So frosty tomorrow morning, clear and warm though after that. And the weekend, yeah, a little bit of cool down, but remember a couple days ago I had showers in the weekend forecast. That's changed. More on that in a bit, David.
Sounds like sunshine and blue skies. Thank you, Matt. Now at 6, a Troutdale realtor says he is the victim of cyber thieves who somehow stole the tens of thousands of dollars straight out of his bank account. Thomas Schultz is live in Troutdale. So Thomas, what do we know?
Well, David, there's still a lot Alan Roberts doesn't know, but what he does know is that on March 18th, when he checked his bank account, $30,000 was missing. What would you do if you woke up one day to $30,000 missing?
And then it starts with this one, $1,897.
It's a question Alan Roberts, a Troutdale realtor, has been grappling with.
Then it just starts to go down, 31. Then the big ones start hitting, 29.4, 27.6, 25.7.
For close to a month.
I'm not going to stand for that. Sorry, but no one's going to steal $30,000 from me and not account for it.
On March 18th, Roberts noticed dozens of withdrawals from his Chase bank account. Tens of thousands of dollars, all paid to seemingly random companies.
I'm a realtor, but I have no idea who those people are.
Another $8,000 was transferred from another of his Chase checking accounts to this business account before being withdrawn. Each withdrawal under $2,000.
It's frustrating beyond belief.
On that same day, Roberts says he received hundreds of emails written in foreign languages. Though Roberts says he never clicked on any spam or gave personal information out. And when he contacted Chase to get his money back, he says his claims were denied.
They've denied this claim twice.
Because they couldn't prove he wasn't the one to withdraw the money. We reached out to Chase, who says they're reviewing Roberts' claims, though he's pessimistic he'll ever get his money back.
It blows my mind that anybody could look at that and not say, oh, well, clearly you were hacked and it was gone. So that's where they have the
thousands gone, meant for retirement.
Call it a nest egg, call it whatever you will, towards a future retirement. And for it all to just be gone on one day out of nowhere to who knows where, it's beyond frustrating.
Beyond frustrating for him, and Robert says he didn't just reach out to Chase, he also filed a police report. He contacted the FBI. He even contacted the governor's office, who he says got back to him, and has filed a complaint with the Treasury Department on his behalf. David?
Oh, it just makes you want to change all your passwords, that we don't know what happened here, obviously. We just hope he gets some answers and his money back. Thank you, Thomas. We are following up this evening on Portland's fentanyl state of emergency and the pilot project that pairs police with outreach workers to try and connect homeless people with services. Now, new data shows since mid-December to late February, they interacted with about 100 people on the streets. Of those, half expressed an interest in services, 37 were connected. The data goes on to show, though, that not everybody who wanted help got it because there's simply not enough recovery services available.
My addiction's so bad. I'm a polysubstance user. I've been an addict since I was 11 years old. My father stuck a needle in my arm.
We have a revolving door of people accessing just one siloed service and not actually benefiting, not becoming well, not achieving wellness, but instead just going back into the community to where they came from and experiencing the same cycle.
Police and outreach workers say they're planning to go out again together this Thursday. Blair Best has more, including where some county leaders stand on progress, or in their words, the lack thereof. That's coming up at 6:30 on The Story.